Hi, is it working? Are we live? Hi, hello, and welcome to the library. I hope that you are doing all right. It has been 1 million years. We are alive. Very good. It has been 1 million years. I'm sorry, I was sick. And I think I'm over it. Like, I still feel a little bit tired, sore, but most of like illness is behind me, which is like good. So forgive me if like my voice is a little bit, tired. Today it is what it is, and I try to be alive. Getting sick during winter, I cannot believe it. To be fair, it has been years since I've been sick, like proper, and not just, getting like side effects from like injections, vaccine shots. I think last time I was really sick was probably 6-7 years ago, something like that. Maybe even more, to be fair. I used to be very sick during winter, but nowadays it's not the case because I'm really taking care of myself. But I was seeing some friends last weekend, and was it last weekend? I mean, yeah, not like the weekend just here, but like the one before. And I usually, wear a mask, but I think it was like a little bit uncomfortable to wear a mask during the entire weekend, and we stayed inside, so I got sloppy, and I think I caught something there. So yeah, basically the later half of the last week was a little bit difficult. I was not exactly bedridden, but I was also flickering between, you're flickering between sleep and being awake. It's like, oh, I'm sleeping for 2 hours, and then I can like do things for 2 hours before I get like a splitting headache, and you go back to sleep, and then you wake up, and so on. And it wasn't just like during the day, it was also during the night. So I'm kind of running on a very weird sleep schedule right now. where the illness basically kind of like solidified the polyrhythm sleep schedule that I have. So it's a bit amusing. Okay, so that's basically that, which also means that's what I wrote on the server, that all of the projects have been delayed, unfortunately. I'm still working on the video, we are almost there, and I will try to push before Christmas, but I just don't know if I will be able to take care of everything, so we'll have to see what's the situation with that. Yeah, what is there to say in the past week? Not a lot, to be fair, because again, I was like mostly, you know, trying to survive, and hence a lack of, you know, any interesting news. The polythermic sleep schedule. I mean, this is like, or is it not? How is it called? Oh, how it's called? Let me check. Like polyphasic. Sorry, polyphasic sleep. I said rhythmic, right? Polyphasic sleep. And like last night, I think was a little bit weird. Like I slept. I don't know. To be fair, I slept late. But again, I was flickering between sleep and being awake, so polycule sleep schedule. Two different sleep schedule combining sounds like a trip. I guess like if you're... No, I don't know what I wanted to say. Like you have to forgive me, the brain is not braining today. I've been trying to not work last week to rest, and you know, people were asking me not to work, and I felt that like if I tried to, they would kill me. So I tried to be nice and I rested and I did not work. I did not do the video. I basically just did like a little bit of Japanese every day. And yesterday I felt like really better. And so I tried to work yesterday and oh my God, I fell back into overworking almost because I missed working a lot. So I was like doing the video and then some research and then some translation and then some Japanese. And I think I worked for like 10, 12 hours, something like that. But I know that it was not good, so I'm trying to take it easy again. Like after stream, I'll do like a little bit of work, but I'll continue to rest, especially as Christmas is coming. So yeah. I kind of like wanted to mention quickly, just quickly because I don't think it's like that interesting, but I wanted to mention like the Game Awards, not the awards in themselves, because I think they were pretty uninteresting. I mean, like everything was kind of obvious, and also who cares? But mostly about like the fact that, you know, people are saying nowadays that the Game Awards feel like the new E3. That's when you get like your big announcements and releases and stuff like this. And I'm like, was there even anything interesting like in these Game Awards? Like all the trailers were kind of like a little bit cooked, in my opinion. And I think that we're already like the Game Awards are already in this position of like it's irrelevant because most of the publishers that are putting like the very big things, they don't need like the Game Awards to do their things. They do that on their special like, you know, program like the Nintendo Direct, the State of Play, even though there's nothing there, the Capcom Showcase, whatever. And it's like just nobody cares about the Game Awards. It's pure auto-congratulations. And like I was watching it with some friends, and that was the first time I watched the Game Awards since like the first one. And I was like, oh my God, this is completely cooked. Maybe reasons for not working, need to rest. Oh yeah, a cross of like, yeah. Don't worry about it. I can't make people angry at me. So, you know, if like people were threatening me not to work, like they were like, you need to rest. And I was like, okay, I'm sorry. What do you mean you don't like Star Wars? I've told that on stream now that like Star Wars was something that I watched like very late. I think I was in my mid-teenager years when I started to watch Star Wars, and it's like, who cares? Like, this is what people were talking about. This is the big nostalgia thing. I don't hate Star Wars, but I don't think it's like very interesting either. And thank you for the 9 years of subscription, Siggy. Thank you very much. Divinity was interesting. I mean, Divinity was interesting, but also we saw nothing, right? I think people were saying that it's kind of like I can't remember, a reboot, retelling, I don't know what exactly. So that was interesting to see, like the very gruesome trailer, to be honest. Like I was a bit uncomfortable during the live, but also we saw literally like obviously no gameplay and stuff. So I'm like, I don't know what really days to comment mostly. And what was a bit worrying for me was the comment that it would be a bigger game than like Baldur's Gate 3. And it's like, what do you mean a bigger game? Do we really need a game that long? I mean, Baldur's Gate 3 was like, in my playthrough, let me check. Oh, I cannot check because I did 2 playthroughs, so it's like a little bit annoying to check. But it took me like 100 hours to do most of like Baldur's Gate 3. I think like I missed a few side quests and stuff, but I basically tried to clear the entire log of quests. And it's like, you know, like Larian games, we are never finishing those games. Like I've never finished like Divinity Original Sin 2 because it's just too long, and I think like Act 3 and it's just like too big on the continent, and I've never been into like Act 4, so it is what it is. Hi Kali, hi. It's so good to see you. Thank you for being here. I hope that you're doing well. It has been quite some time since we have seen each other. It is interesting to see that what Larian wants to focus as a smaller studio is... it is a big statement of direction. Oh yeah, for sure. I mean, bigger has to mean longer, or maybe just more ambitious. I don't know. Are they talking about the world? You know, the size of the world? Or are they talking about the density of quest? And I'm like... both of them, I'm not sure, you know. Again, it means like everything and nothing, so we need to wait to see things, and we won't see like Divinity until, you know, a long time. But I feel like Larian games are great, but always run out of steam in the last third. I completely agree. I think it's like they're fumbling a little bit like at the end, and mostly like because they always go through some sort of like, you know, early access or like open beta to get like a lot of feedback. And I remember it was also the case for Divinity Original Sin 2. And because of that, they can really like craft something that is very tight and very interesting in their first act, which is the case in Baldur's Gate 3. I think it's like pretty neat. I think it's the case with the prison in Original Sin 2. But then they don't have people kind of like stress testing the game on the later half, and they just like throw too many ideas, and it just doesn't work that well, I think. Like my problem with Baldur's Gate 3, apart from the retconning, was that like everything felt a little bit disconnected. It's like, oh, you have a building, so you'll have a side quest in there, but it isn't really tied to anything special, and it doesn't give like the city, I think, it sorry. It feels the city a little bit too artificially, if you understand what I mean. And that was kind of like what I felt with like Original Sin 2, is that like, you have such a big region, but then like the individual sub-regions are so different from each other, and it feels like a bit artificial trying to navigate them organically, I think. But I rarely enjoy the lag sections. I think like most people are thinking like you. This is that the Elder Scrolls trailer from 200 years ago. I do agree. It's like it's a bit crazy. Aren't you looking forward to starting in another beach? Yeah. I mean, to be fair, I don't mind this trope. I think it's like pretty funny, all things considered. I don't know. I feel like, you know, this is always you are like in a ship stranded and then you start on a beach. I don't mind this trope. But I feel like every time, obviously, the interesting part is like the shipwreck, right? I remember the opening of like Original Sin 2 being like quite interesting for me back then. But yeah, it is what it is. Well, we'll wait for, you know, the further announcement and stuff. I'm not hyped necessarily, because I don't think like those games are, you know, for me exactly. At least, you know, if it's closer to the Divinity formula, like I think I would prefer it. But I think Baldur's Gate 3 was really not a game that was meant for me. So like I'm not really, you know, hyped. I'm like cautiously interested. I kind of hate it because it's a huge in medias res that leads to nowhere. But also it's like, how do you begin a game where you create your character? Like, because you can create a character that has like no prior story, fixed prior story, I think it's hard to bring people outside of like the this kind of like in medias res, and then you're kind of like borrowing from the formula of like D&D, right? Which is something that we can hate. I have no problem with that. Because you need to start like the game as a tier 1 adventure, so it has to start very slowly, I think. The ship part is good. I think it's always good. What I really liked about, speaking of ship part, was like the intermission, Act 2 of Divinity Original Sin 2, where you have like this battle on the ship. I think it was like a very, very interesting thing. But yeah, do you have a way to really begin in this new formula of CRPG, or to begin like with a custom created character that has no ties with everything? Like, I do like, to be fair, the young adventurer trope, or not necessarily young, but, you know, new adventurer starting in their village, a little bit like Neverwinter Night 2, for example. But yeah, just continue from there, not to a ship, not to a beach. Yeah, I don't know. I feel like the interesting thing, at least in Baldur's Gate 3, is that like you start in a beach, but like immediately you see like those ruins. And I think most players are kind of like, they're kind of pushed toward exploring the ruins very early, which is like a good thing, but also I don't think like the ruins in Baldur's Gate 3 are that interesting. I know it's kind of like a tutorial for like combat with like the bandits, but I think it's like a... it lacks something. The entire building lacks something, in my opinion. Oblivion Prison Opener. Is Oblivion my... I mean, the Prisoner Opener, I think, is like even less interesting than like the shipwreck into like beach opening. But again, I'm also very old school. For me, like, you need to start in your village where you lived your entire life. But for both Baldur's Gate 3 and Original Sin 2, have the ship crash into the town and start with another fight of complete goblin plus random mind flare minions attacking the town, and you're immediately bonded with the town. Yeah, okay, yeah. Yeah, I agree with you, especially as you say that like it works because the game is less railroaded. I think so. Like arguably I would say that like it works better in, I would say that the opening of like the beach opening of like Original Sin 2 is better than Baldur's Gate 3 for me. But also it has been a long time since I've played it, so I don't remember the exact exploration from the beach to the town. So I'll have to play it to finish the game at some point, but 14 opener, but it's always in Ul'dah. I've never started in Ul'dah, to be fair. I've never created a character that started in Ul'dah. So I don't even know what like the opener is, what's the, you know, narrative beat if you start in Ul'dah. But yeah, as like someone was saying, as a friend was saying, we don't have enough CRPG, and I do agree to some extent. And I mean, like, for me, CRPG, this is also like the narrative beat. I know that, you know, people were very like positive about Solasta by when it was published, but Solasta is really, you know, the D&D combat experience. So the lack of narrative kind of like pushed me away from the game. I would say Gridania is the worst start. I cannot really, I mean, I do agree. I think it's like weaker than at least Lanocea. I think Lanocea is a strong start, but also because you have like I think Ishtola, especially like no, because like when you see Ishtola kind of like chastising the maelstrom, this is like after the because this is when you're hunting for Titan, so it's after the opening. Ul'dah is goodish because a Realm Reborn plot is very Ul'dah focused. Yeah. I mean, I'll try. I have to at least like go through the Ul'dah plot at some point, but I did like the Dragon Age Origins opener. Wait, the opener in Dragon Age is oh my god, I can't remember. What's the opener already? I can remember the opener for like the later games, but I don't have like memories of like Origins. Do I have like a story? Oh yeah. I remember. Yeah. Okay. I'm reading like the plot in on Wikipedia. Yes. I think it's like really strong because you have like this. It's kind of like a very self-contained set piece that like works very well. I wanted to do like a Origins like playthrough at some point a few years ago, but I just didn't have the time. Yeah, you have like six stories. I think to some extent, like it's quite similar to the Mass Effect opener, right? Darkspawn, right? I think Darkspawn for them. But yeah, I also need to play like the latest Dragon Age at some point, just, you know, to kind of like see where it's going. I don't mind the gameplay and stuff. I just want to see like what they are trying to do with Dragon Age. But also I was also thinking of at some point playing Mass Effect again because I've had a weird craving for sci-fi adventure a few months ago, and yeah. I feel like Origins works better as a narrative game because you waste less time traveling. Inquisition felt quite bloated with the open world. I do agree. I completely agree with you. It brings the pace so down that like it just like not that it's not that it's not interesting. It's like, yeah, you wish like you were just like playing the story and not like trekking through you know, random environment. Mass Effect 3 always felt weirdly fascist to me. This is interesting because my last playthrough of like Mass Effect is kind of like, it was a long time ago, so I can't exactly remember the like all of the story beats, but I mean, I kind of get like what you're saying by that. But I need to play like Mass Effect again, I think, like with the Legendary Edition or whatever. I don't care about like Star Wars. I'm craving for some sci-fi adventure. You don't know, I mean, my problem with Star Wars, and it's not like, I'm not talking about like Star Wars, the extended universe, because I think like it can be interesting, you know, as any setting, I guess. My problem is Star Wars, the films, because they are like, just watch Ginaiden, right? Like for me, true sci-fi adventure, this is like Ginaiden, this is like Captain Future, this is those like more political in a way stories that don't focus, or at least that they don't focus on, I don't know, on this sort of like very easy opposition between like two factions. Like I watched Ginaiden before like Star Wars, and for me, they should like swap their name. Like for me, Ginaiden is like the true Star Wars, because of the focus on like politics and characters that are really, really like nuanced compared like to the original two trilogies. I've never watched like, by the way, Star Wars, you know, 7 and onwards, so I have no opinion on them. But when I watched like the first two trilogies, I was like, what is this? Like this is the big like sci-fi things that like everybody likes. So I have no nostalgia and no affection for Star Wars, but also no distaste per se. It's like, if you like Star Wars, it's good for you, but like I don't care. You're gonna be off for now. You're gonna visit your mom. Have a good stream. Thank you, Seki. Thank you for coming, and thank you again for the sub. And I hope you have like a wonderful time with your mom. And Mass Effect 2 is peak. I do agree. I think like I like the plot of like, you know, losing power after like the whole like Spectre thing in like Mass Effect 1. For some reason, like I think like back then I was thinking that it was probably my least favorite Mass Effect, but I'm really like open to change my opinion. Say hello to your mother from me. This is crazy. But also, yeah, I mean, like, I kind of like want to see Mass Effect, like the new Mass Effect at some point. It can be Mass Effect 4, it can be like Mass Effect Andromeda 2. I know that a lot of people were very negative on like Andromeda, which is like completely understandable considering the state of release. But I don't think like the story is that, you know, cooked. My problem with Andromeda mostly is that like, oh, you go like in a new galaxy and it's literally like the same, you know, humanoid species out there, which I think is like such a waste of potential. But I really, you know, enjoyed the storyline with, how are they called, riders, like the family, the rider family. And I really want to see like the next part of this story, because I think it can go in an interesting direction. But I don't think we'll get like Andromeda 2 ever, probably. Instead of, yeah, the only one that explores the setting instead of the main conflict. I completely agree with that. That is like something that I've always appreciate with 2. I just think that like the overall antagonist is kind of like weirdly written. It's not bad, but like it could have been better. I think it's like it comes as too like I don't exactly know how to say that. Artificial in like the opposition, but you know, that was kind of like the case. They are presenting this like at the beginning, so there's not a lot you can say. When you write an alternative universe, but it's the same universe, yeah. I mean, I do think like that the main conflict of like Mass Effect is not very interesting in the first trilogy. I get why they are doing this, because you need like this sort of like story to like spearhead like a game of that size. But I would have preferred something that was like very, you know, exploration based, which is also something that I like about Andromeda, to be fair. But then Andromeda falls into like some of its own problems like along the way. But I like the setting of like Mass Effect. This is really a setting that I enjoy. I like all the things that you can do with like the different species. But to be fair, like most of what I like, or what I really, really like about Mass Effect, are things that have been written by fans. So this is what it is. But yeah, I think like I'm craving for this, you know, Western RPG school of design that we don't have necessarily nowadays. Because like, yeah, okay, we have like CRPGs like Baldur's Gate 3, but like I prefer games that are a little bit like shorter, right? For me, a CRPG, it's something that you should be able to finish like in maximum like 50 hours, and I think that it's already pushing. So like a 100-hour experience for me is just way too long. The setting is more interesting than the main story, like for sure. Isn't it the case for like almost all the fantasy universes? I mean, I do think it's the case. Like, if we are talking just about video games, I don't even have like an example of the main story being better than the universe. You have this weird game called The Age of Decadence, which is set in like a pseudo Roman Empire, but also it has like a steampunk twist. That is slightly hidden, to be fair. But I think it's still like a case of because you have like different storylines depending on like what kind of character you want to play. If you want to play a rogue, you will have like a very like rogue-like story. If you want to play like a merchant story, I think you can play like another story completely. And I think this is interesting. So you have like certain storylines that are very strong, but I think the setting is still a little bit more interesting. But yeah, I don't have like an example of like a very good fantasy story. Also because I think it's like very hard to finish a fantasy story because of this progression with like beating like the big bad. I think like if you want to make like a very interesting story in fantasy, you have to kind of like go a little bit like outside of the usual like fantasy tropes, and kind of like go for like stories like, you know, the Earth-Sea cycle, where it's mostly like stories that are set besides like the big things happening, you know, with heroes, or things that are happening afterwards. And I think it's why I like Terranu so much in the Earth-Sea cycle, for example, because it's such like a subversion of like the usual fantasy trope. That's why I like also Life Load by Joe Walton, because it's, well, there's no story. This is like a book where nothing is happening. But I find this like a better character study than like the average fantasy plot, which is also why I like Frieren like a lot, because I think like Frieren is a nice version, but also like it's falling into the classic fantasy tropes again, because it's such a long manga nowadays. So yeah. I even say that it's a good created universe that makes you think of better stories to live in. Oh yeah, completely. I think completely. And I think for me, for example, I think like Final Fantasy XIV be it in like the 1.0 or A Realm Reborn, has such a strong universe, but the story is not giving like the universe its true weight. And they have like discarded along the way a lot of ideas that could have made the story more interesting and use like the setting at its full potential. I think we talked about that already, but like I really like Gridania as a city, narratively speaking, because you have like this pseudo hidden like xenophobia, and it's such like a strong thing to explore at some point, but the game decides to never explore that. And I think like most of like the new entries are kind of like discarding what the setting was before. I think it's especially the case after like Endwalker, where we basically solved every problem like in Eorzea, and it's like, oh, this is the perfect land to live in, and we kind of like gave up on the idea of like xenophobia. We kind of gave up on the idea of the monetarist in Ul'dah and stuff. And yeah, Gridania is the best setting, and that's why I hate it. It's so annoying that like Gridania has been like discarded. And even like in Realm Reborn, it's the city that gets the least attention when it's one of the most interesting setting with the racism and stuff. Even non-fantasy stuff like Cyberpunk. I mean, Bert, not that you have seen like for the Zelda podcast, was playing like Cyberpunk and also like Phantom Liberty, and was basically saying the same thing, like the setting was nice, the city was nice, but like the storyline was like really, you know, unremarkable. I think it's why a lot of side quests in those big games are more interesting than the main story. Oh, 100%. And I think it's, you know, like I really like Genshin Impact, but like the good stories, they're all like in the side quest, because they explore the actual location, and they show how people are living in the world that they inhabit. And I think that's why also I like Breath of the Wild a lot, because, and all of Tears of the Kingdom, because it's really like a social game. There's no main story per se. The main story is learning to, well, seeing those people in their environment trying to live after the calamity. And I think it gives like a social weight to those games that makes it interesting, because the setting is like the main story in itself. Where's my Moon Miko village? Hey, don't worry about it. I think like the Moon Keeper lore has been completely discarded. When was the last time like that it was mentioned, like in even like in a side quest? Like never. Because we're never going back to Gridania. Why would you go back to Gridania? Did you see the latest Any Austin video about Cyberpunk? I do not watch videos. So you can assume that like the answer is no for most of like, you know, videos on YouTube. But I'm happy if you tell me what is in the video. And after that, we should like start to play, you know, the game, because we are yapping, which is like good, but also like I plan to play like Assemble with Care at some point. I'll share it in the server. Okay. Feel free to share it. The server is here for that. He basically lived like a whole fake week living in Cyberpunk. This is funny, to be fair. Much like the xenophobia aspect in the story, I think the Moon Mikos were last mentioned in the Archer Guild questline, you know, only a little while ago. I don't think it's true. And hi, by the way. I don't think it's true, because you have like the quest line with the Moon Mikote in the post you know, the Moogle postmaster quest, right? Hi. And you had like this quest line, the past how is it called? The past can never be told, something like that. Where you have like these stories about like those Moon Mikote and like also like the you know, the Curl King or whatever, who is like kidnapping, grooming them, you know, assaulting them. Like this is like the very dark plot line of like of Gridania that is really like something important for me. I really want to explore that more, but I think it's also like probably 14 is like, this is not what the game is about nowadays. Like we don't write things that are dark, so let's just not talk about that, right? We had some tangential things after, but I don't remember anything really focused on them. Like Menfinia Law in Endwalker. But that's kind of like the thing with like Menfina, right? Is that they did not even give like Menfina for the Moon Miko. It's a bit like I don't know. Again, it's a case of like discarding most of everything, right? I think like one of the most annoying thing for me on the Ulda side was like, oh, the monetary store, you know, they are not that bad, right? Because you have the whole like I can't remember his name, the chief of the East. Oh my god, I can't remember his name. I'm so lost. Monetarist Syndicate. Nanarito, right? Or Lolorito, I guess. It's like, oh, but like, you know, he helped us in some ways in Stormblood and afterwards, and he's not like, he's not just like a you know, brainless capitalist. He's like also seeing the interest, like the stability of Ulda as like something that is fostering his like personal interest, which is like good. I think like it gives like a little bit more like depth to the character, but the story is never like telling that like in a very like interesting ways. It's I don't know. I think like the monetarist royalist thingy is like so interesting, but like it is just discarded. Like Dalmasca, I want Dalmasca to have like more representation, but it's also like everything we learned about Dalmasca basically was like outside of like Dalmasca. We never went there like proper on a non like, you know, gameplay content thingy. And I'm like, this is so annoying. 14 is very quick to forget about consequences of people's action, like completely. And that's like the problem of the game. It's like when it's done, and like we don't need to talk about it, and it falls like into a statu quo. And I think it makes the world very very static. It feels like, yeah, we have solved like all the problem in Eorzea, and then we'll never have like any more problems again. And if the next story, if the next expansion is like going immediately like to like another world, it's like, come on, please. We have like so many things we need to finish in here, and we can't start to explore like other planets immediately. It's a bit crazy, but it is what it is, you know. Like I'm kind of accepting that like the era of like the more dark quests is like behind us, and you know we just need to change our expectations accordingly. But we'll see with, you know, the storyline of like the patch tomorrow. I'm okay with fixing Garlemald and helping the people, but yeah, it was like way too fast, I think. I think like they needed to put like some positivity to kind of like finish like on a better note, but also like it's way too fast. And it's literally like the two twins are doing everything by themselves, and like they don't need any help. But this is the problem of like this whole like Garlemald being like kind of like a mix of like authoritarian regimes. So you have like this very like fascist undertone, and it's like, oh yeah, but like you are fascist, but have you thought about the power of love, by the way? And it's like, it's a little bit too easy. And like, I think that like, if you wanted to exit in such like an easy and positive way, which is not necessarily an issue, kind of raising the idea that like it's very similar to like Nazi Germany or Imperial Japan is a little bit questionable. I'm really hoping that some tension will return with more immediate responses to the Guardians, like the way we're just happy and buddies with them gave me conniption. I completely agree. Completely agree. I think that's why like it's so annoying to me that like we are not like seeing people for the whole like Damaska thingy, because it makes Dalmasca such an abstract land, such an abstract region, and you cannot really have like this bite and this tension of like, but most people are okay with like the occupation nowadays, which is I think like a very important point when it comes to like portraying those societies. We had like a little bit of that with Turncliffe in Well-Lit, with the weapons storyline with Gaius, but also this is the annoying thing with Gaius. It's like he killed like most of the Asians like off screen. Like, what are they doing? Shadowbringers was good because a new world was expected. Dawntrail was too early to reveal the whole new area. I don't want more map reveal now. We need to, I need to polish what we have. More in the Far East, more in the current continents. Yeah, completely. I think it's like people believe that the world is so small because like the regions, the individual regions that we have only a very limited number of maps, when the world is way bigger than that. And I think like there are way more that like we can explore, and especially since like A Realm Reborn, we need to go back into like the places we already seen and see how things are evolving. We cannot just finish a storyline and be like, okay, we can just leave them to their own devices. It's just too easy. Like I think at some point like we need to go back to Ulda and kind of like touch the question of like poverty again, because it was like a big thing with the refugees from the Calamity and like Alamigo, and we just don't know where, you know, we are right now. And technically at least a few years have passed. Like we don't have like any fixed chronology, but like at least a few years have passed, and it's a little bit weird that it's not like coming back on the table. As Dalmasca is side quest, it cannot rejoin the MSQ without a big effort. Yeah, I think like they have put themselves like into a corner, and this is just like, you know, this is problematic. Especially as Dalmasca, you know, you have the whole plotline of like the princess being alive, and I fear the issue we are facing with Dalmasca's story is the fact that so far it's mostly stabilized to be just Final Fantasy XII or Tactics Land, and I'm mostly scared that what they've given us so far, they are just stuck in the corner of the whole zone based on, hey, remember how cool those other Final Fantasy games are? I think so. And this is like a little bit annoying because we know that like, you know, there are two main cities in Dalmasca, right? So you have like Dalmasca Major and Dalmasca Minor, right? So Rabanastre is kind of like explored in a way in the Alliance raid, but you have like Reamonde on the south. And I think it could be like such an interesting like city to explore, and you could like make an incredible storyline about this. But unfortunately, like as you said, like they are stuck in a corner and they just don't want to make. They don't want to make Dalmasca their unique thing. They want to kind of like play on the idea that like it's a reference to something. Even if we know that like, you know, 12 Tactics, all the Ivalice lands, they are like different from each other. This is not the same universe. This is not the same concept, but they are playing so coy with it that like it's just annoying to me. And I hate that because I really love like Ivalice as a setting. But seeing what they're doing with it nowadays, it makes me like a little bit sad, unfortunately. But we'll see, you know, I think we'll have like a good direction, a good idea of like where the story is going with the next patch. So tomorrow, I will probably try to do the MSQ tomorrow, to be fair. I'm like quite interested in doing that. But yeah, I'm just uncertain about what they want to do. Like, we know it's not Miracidia Dispatch, I think, from like the interview with Yoshi P. And this is good in a way. I think Miracidia is like too early. But man, if it's like to go like to use like the MacGuffin and go to a new dimension, oh my god, please let me see like the Pearl. Let me see like other places in Eorzea and stuff. I just want to see Corvo, for example. But this is the problem of this game. Do we want to continue on the discussion? Do you have anything more to say on that? Because I think like we're retreading like conversation topics that like we had like multiple times already. But also like that's why RPing is fun, because like I think people are writing like more interesting storylines than, you know, Square Enix when you are RPing with RP heavy, lore heavy people. It's so funny that after all this time, my main complaint about WoW was that every new expansion was a new continent. I mean, you know, it is what it is. I think it was justified in like 14 for, you know, some expansions, especially like Stormblood. I mean, we can like talk about like the writing of Stormblood, but at least, you know, the idea of like going in this direction, like I don't mind, because it's something that was hinted since like the beginning of the game, so I think it's fine. But there's not like a lot of justification for some of the later expansions, I think. The next expansion for WoW seems to be more expanding current lands, while 14 is going the opposite direction. Yeah, I hope that at some point, you know, they are thinking a little bit more carefully about what they are doing. Because we had like this speech like in Endwalker, right, about Emmett Salk being like, oh, do you remember, like, have you explored like those zones? And they have like heeded its advice a little bit, but mostly like by doing that like off screen, or not off screen, but like on side content, which is like a bit disappointing. It was half Alamigo and then you had the aura. Yeah. Shadowbringers was a good twist, but you can only twist once. I do agree. I mean, the problem with Endwalker was LPs onwards. And I say that as someone that really likes LPs, but it's like, oh, you go into LPs and space, and it's like, what are we doing? I mean, I know, you know, this is like Final Fantasy IV, this is like most of Final Fantasies, but also like, I think like Endwalker really made the game lose its groundedness. I think there is hope on them expanding things. After all, the first teaser we've gotten from an interview was a huge plan for the... Oh, really? Really? Okay. I've not seen like this interview, but I mean, we'll see, you know, like I'm not... I don't have like... I liked the way they ended the story in the last patch. The whole like Dawn Trail thing. Yeah, I think it was like pretty good. So I'm like generally like slightly confident on like this, you know, what they're writing, with the caveat that like, you know, it will not be dark story and whatever, but you know, we'll just see, I guess. I would have been okay with Endwalker Zones if it was the peak and then we went downhill. Having LPs and Ultima and then Solution 9. Oh yeah. Yeah, completely. And that's like what I meant with like losing the groundedness. I'm really not like, for me, the sci-fi aspect of like Final Fantasy, this is really not a problem. But I think they went so hard in the dichotomy between like Alexandria, I mean Solution 9 and Tuliolal, that I was like, yeah, like it's a little bit too much here. Like even classic games are not that crazy in the opposition between like magic and technology, but um, I don't know. And it's like especially a little bit annoying when you have like so much lore about, especially for example, the Allagan that is here for the sci-fi aspect, and we are just not willing to explore it. As much as like the community is always joking about like, oh, it has to be the Allagans and stuff, you are never seeing that like in game anymore. But for a quote of the interview, fan festivals are facing toward the next year. Fan festivals are also planned. A fairly big announcement is being prepared to be announced, with the determination that the game will be reborn for the second time under the goal that the game will evolve into a cutting-edge service while rethinking everything from zero. It can be read like that, but also I think like it says nothing. I think it's like a very like neutral message that doesn't, it can mean whatever you want. If you want to cope, if you want to be like under, hopium, I think it works. If you want to be very pessimistic about this message, I think it works. We'll probably again like see things more clearly with the next patch. Also, Solution 9 requires a revolution in the world. It's a massive Pandora box. Tuliolal should have a technology revolution now and be the sole focus for years, but that makes no sense for the 14 story beats. Or completely, especially as like this is literally the plot point and the character, like the story point for, how is he called, the brother of like of Lamati? I can't remember. But like that's his point of like bringing technology and stuff like to Liolal and try to go like for a very like fusion society. And I think this is also like the thing that I really dislike about like 14 is that we introduce new continents, new places, but you have very few zones of interactions between them. Cultures are not blending a lot in this game. Like for me, the big exception was the culinarian quest for Shadowbringers. Not Shadowbringers, but Stormblood. Because it's really like East meet West, and you have like this like idea that like food is something dynamic, something that is changing by entering in contact with like other cultures, and as a way of to bridge people together. And I feel like for me this is the ideal way of like writing stories in like 14, like putting this idea of like collaboration, but really like in a with like all the friction that it also carries. Again, like shout out to Garlean, the Garlean culture that like had the potential to be like so tension heavy, and the story is actually not doing nothing with it. And that's my problem also with Tuliolal, right? It's that like, oh, we are making like an opposition with Solution 9 instead of really leaning into the fusion between like two different cultures. Maybe that will happen in side content, but like it will never happen in the main quest anymore. We have this whole thing about like people from Alexandria going back to Tuliolal with like the train, and I think the train is like an interesting thing, but they need to expand that, right? To make it something a little bit more interesting than just like a train in the Wild West story beat, classic story beat for Western like fiction. So yeah, I mean, we'll see. But that's basically what I have to say about that. Let's transition to like the game, because I think we should also like try to play the game a little bit. It's a short one, so I think we can like finish that today. Okay, so this is Assemble with Care, a little game about restoring objects and machines and stuff. I think the sound is also too loud, so let me change that. Nope. Why is it so loud? Oh my god. Oh, because I was on the wrong one. Okay. Okay. I think the sound should be correct, but like tell me if I like it is good. Yeah, because like the sound is not like playing if I'm not like focused on the window for some reason. Galamel Tag versus Illusion Magic would have been such a cool story beat. I think it's only loud for me. You think it's only loud for me? I mean, we'll see. You know, we can change things. You know, at the same time. But yeah, I completely agree. They're just like wasting a little bit of potential. Yay! This game is best played with sound. Well, good. Oh, I love the colors. I love also the art style, like bright white and the clouds that are popping off the, you know, center of like the canvas.
After a year on the road, I thought I'd get tired of traveling. The endless clatter of railways, highways, and everything in between.
That's good because I don't have to read myself.
But as my train pulled into the station at Bellariva, I felt every bit as excited as the first day of my journey. A whole year. It felt like a lifetime. The places I'd seen, the people I'd met, of course, the forgotten treasures I'd given a new lease of life along the way.
The audio mixing is a bit weird. I think like the voice is a bit low compared to the music, but...
I'm a restorer by trade. Bringing our most beloved possessions back to life is what I love to do. I'd been traveling for months, working my way from one town to the next, fixing everything from family heirlooms to VCRs.
Yay!
Bellariva was my chance to take a break. Unfortunately, that would have to wait until after I'd unpacked.
Maybe we should play Unpacking also at some point. Oh, that's when you take a... Okay, so I'll put like the music a little bit lower. Something like this. Okay. Okay. You should not like put fragile things in your suitcase like this. This will get broken at some point.
The tools of my trade. No hope of restoring things without these.
Oh, we need the key or whatever.
My favorite overalls. These will never go out of style.
Okay.
Looking forward to taking more close-ups of my fingers with this. I'll hand these out once I'm settled in. Fingers
Maybe that's
crossed
why
they
we
get me
will
some
restore
work.
some things due to bad packing. Like this is like absurdly bad packing, to be fair.
Who doesn't love a scrunchie? Practical and stylish.
But also like that's all you have in your you know, things. You don't have like any more clothes than that. What is going on?
My passport. Not many blank pages left now.
A very also papers please.
I saw a
passport,
guitarist
but-
wearing these at a show once. Rock and roll repair woman at your service. I picked up these sunglasses on my last stop. Hopefully,
A couple
will
of loose
pull them
knives and
off.
perhaps a morning star. Yay!
Finally, I'd made it to Bellariva. I'd come for the food festival, taking
The
place in a few
food
days' time.
festival.
After living off TV dinners and instant ramen for the last few months, I was craving a decent meal.
Okay, but like, real question. Do people eat TV diners? Is it really a thing that people are eating? Nowadays, I mean?
Of course, I'd need to earn enough money to pay for it, so I figured I'd head out the next day and find some work.
I guess this is also very American culture, like TV diners. Or is it? I don't know. I actually don't know.
My parents never wanted me to go. They wanted me to stay in their shop and have a simple, stationary life. I knew there was a world out there, beyond the four walls of our antique store, that I had to be a part of.
Interesting. I haven't seen one in 2 decades at least. Yeah, it's like, I don't know. TV diners were a thing when I was a kid, but I don't remember any after like the mid-90s. But also, you know, people were not watching TV anymore, so I guess it's also part of like why they fell off, maybe?
I daydreamed constantly about the weird and wonderful places each of our antiques came from. I loved figuring out their stories, revealing the memories hidden beneath the screws and wires.
And also probably because like, yeah, the rise of like, you know, instant noodles and stuff instead of like TV diners. But TV diner is like you have a tray, no? It's a tray of things, right? Like you have all your things already pre-packed into like a single like you dessert and thing in a single tray, right? This is what TV diner is. It's just pre-made or ready-made meals. But those are individual meals, right? Or am I crazy? Do I have like a wrong idea of like what a TV diner is?
My story in Bellariva began with a little girl and a voice she was longing to hear.
Yay! I like the very minimalist art style, to be fair. Lullaby. Okay.
It was my first morning in Bellariva, and I couldn't wait to leave my hotel and explore. It was a quiet town, its streets and alleyways basking peacefully in the hot morning sun.
This is interesting. The game is like way more narratively focused than like I was thinking with those like slides.
In the main square, meanwhile, preparations were underway for the festival in a few days' time.
But a ready-made bento is not a TV diner like. Do you eat bento at home? Do you eat bento at home? Is it really something that people are doing?
As I handed out my flyers, I wondered what the people of Bellariva would need me to fix. So far, everything here seemed perfect. I was starting to worry I'd made a mistake when I felt someone tapping me on the back.
Hi, I'm Izzy. Do you know how to fix things?
Hi. Bento. Hi, Ellie, by the way. I hope that you're doing alright. You heard some people do. Okay, interesting.
It was a little girl, maybe 7 years old, who must have gotten hold of one of my flyers. She rummaged around in her backpack until she hauled out a battered red cassette deck.
I think it's also like for me, bento feels like more like a lunch thing than a diner thing, but like, yeah.
My tape is broken and I can't make it work anymore.
Oh.
I tried to fix it myself, but there's this metal thing in the way. Can you try?
I can try, little girl. Okay.
Aha! Those batteries look like they need replacing.
Yay!
Luckily, I have some spares.
I have some spares. Okay, so we should be good here.
Why did you do that?
Why not? Yay! I can use like a little thing like this. I'm not completely washed.
Dream for me. Give us it by your side and hold you so tight. Know that I will always love you, even though we both know that we must say goodnight. Good night, my darling.
Good night, my darling. I recall an NL rant about people saying that Japanese food was better, but they had been only eating microwave combini meals. I mean, okay, from what I've heard, it's just that like also Japanese combini food is like better than, you know, American food, but yeah, I mean, if you go to Japan just to eat like kombini, it's like, what are you doing? Looks like they need replacing. Did she just see the battery charge states? It's just the vision. She has the vision. The secret pencil tech, forgotten knowledge. I mean, when was the last time you've seen like a tape player in your life? It has been like years and years and years since I've seen like something like that.
When it finished, Izzy picked up the tape deck and tucked it carefully into her backpack.
Thanks, Maria. You're the best person at fixing things ever.
No problem. Who was that singing? They're very good.
It's Mom.
It's my mum. She's not here anymore.
Izzy trailed off. It was the kind of silence a cassette tape would never be enough to fill. When Izzy's friends called for her, she dug deep into her pockets, looking for something to pay me with. Eventually, she produced a grand total of a stick of gum, 3 mismatched buttons, and a yo-yo.
Yeah, I'll take the gum, you know. You can keep like the rest, but like I'll take the gum.
I usually preferred a check, but Izzy looked so serious, I wrote out a full receipt. She seemed like a happy kid, but beneath it all, part of her life had been shattered.
Battery acid hue. Don't let Ellie lick the battery.
A part I wouldn't be able to fix.
Okay, I mean the story bit is also very, you know, on the nose, but I guess it's okay. Shattered.
My first repair complete, I spent the rest of the day doing small jobs in and around the square. I was exhausted when I got back to my hotel and found a message asking me to make one more visit.
One more thing.
The address led me to a quaint little house, a stone's throw from the beach. Bathed in the evening light, it looked beautiful, in spite of its flaking paintwork and chipped tiles.
And this is funny. This is not exactly what the illustration is about, but...
The front door was opened by a harried-looking man, still dressed from a long day at the office.
Are you Maria? My name's Joseph. I'm Isabel's father.
Who are those people?
I'm so sorry she bothered you this morning. Please, come in. I'd like to settle up properly.
On the mantelpiece, I saw the remains of a broken statue. Without thinking, I picked up a fragment.
Ah, my father's statue. What's left of it, at least. Yet another way I'd have disappointed him.
Disappointing.
It survived 100 years in this family. But 5 minutes with Isabel and... Do you think you can salvage it?
I can. The resistance of my tongue is enough to protect me. This is not how it works.
Will you be able to see the glue afterwards? I don't want people seeing the cracks.
Dum. Oh, okay. It's
Sometimes I think my daughter should come with a warning label.
Is it something you should say about your daughter? Don't worry about the mess I'm making. That's your dad? Like dressed like a conquistador? Think about the outtakes.
Is this glue really strong enough to hold everything together?
It sounds better. Is it the famous Miyabi thermal paste technique? You make me think that I need to reapply some thermal
It
paste
looks
at some
as perfect
point.
as it ever did. My father wanted me to make something of myself. He didn't have time for anything less.
He didn't have time for anything less. Okay.
As Joseph put the statue back on the shelf, it nudged against the family portrait stood proudly next to it. So he was Bellariva's mayor. And that was Izzy's mom.
Oh, I see, I see.
They must both miss her so much.
Sorry, I'm a little tired. I've been working late getting things sorted for the festival. There's only a few days to go. Looks like I'll be working late. Again?
Again, what about your daughter?
When I told my parents I wanted to leave, they always found an excuse to be busy, to avoid talking about it. I guess keeping themselves occupied was their way of pretending it wasn't happening.
I like the story beat.
Joseph's work must have been taking up so much of his time. But maybe that was what he wanted. I just hoped he was finding enough time for Izzy, too.
Okay. A phone. Disconnected.
My second day in Bellariva dawned bright and clear. Another beautiful sunny morning. Walking into town, I passed cafes overflowing with customers cradling their morning coffees. I stopped, breathing in the smell of roasted coffee beans and freshly baked pastries.
Well, this is kind of like a mix of like... It feels both like France and some kind of like South American city.
I was about to go inside when the owner of Carmen's, the cafe next door, stopped me.
Hello, Maria? Were you here yesterday handing out flyers? I have a job for you.
Also, but why do they have like an English or British accent?
Her place was petite, tucked between its competitors as if hoping they wouldn't notice. Judging by the empty tables inside, though, her potential customers hadn't noticed it either.
Oopsie.
It's a bit slow today, but we're just getting started. I'm sure it'll pick up soon.
As Carmen chatted, she walked over to the counter and returned with an old rotary phone.
At least I've got plenty of time to practice my recipe for the festival. It's a new special I've been working on.
A special
I was hoping to
recipe.
call my sister for some seasoning tips, but it won't connect.
Okay, so you are cooked. You. What do you mean seasoning tips?
Can you see if you can figure out what's wrong?
Okay, so this is really a game that like shows your age. Yay, I love unscrewing things.
Obviously, we'd normally be much busier than this.
Obviously. Yeah, I trust you. Is business good? Oh yeah, it's just a bit slow today. Don't worry about it. Yeah, don't worry about it then. Okay.
You can fix it, can't you? I can't afford to replace it.
Yay, screws. Ta-ti-tu-tum. take the wire and drag it to the... Eh?
These connections aren't quite right. I should check the wiring.
There you are, there you are.
Looks like this new circuit board is all hooked up.
Wasn't it more common to learn a British accent in the past? Both my parents have British accents in English and they have never been there. I guess it was because like the production also like of British television and stuff was kind of like exported to some extent to other countries in Europe, I think. But I think
Still
like
a few parts missing.
for us that kind of learn things through in the internet. I think yes, it's like more common to have like an American accent. But also like, you know, probably this game should not be in English. Like it doesn't feel like it's the natural language that people are speaking in this town.
When I handed the phone back to Carmen, she seemed almost reluctant to take it from me.
Why?
So it's all working now, is it? I don't have to leave it to dry or let it cool down?
You
No,
don't want to
it's
call your
ready to go.
sister?
It'll be ringing off the hook in no time.
That's if I can pay my phone bill anyway. And the rent and the suppliers. Anyway, take a seat and I'll be right with you. Your coffee's on the house.
I sat at one of the empty tables, while at the counter, Carmen had started dialing the phone.
Hello. How's my favourite sister doing today?
That's not something that you should say. I mean, this is something that you say only if you have like one sister, right?
As she talked, Carmen became more and more tense. This didn't seem like a call for some cooking advice.
She is asking for some money, no?
I know I still
Yeah,
owe
okay.
you from last time, but I can't afford to take part in the festival if I don't pay.
I could almost feel the eye roll at the other end of the line.
Uh-oh.
You don't need to be here, though. Can't you just put the check in the post?
When the call ended, Carmen brought me my coffee, her hands trembling.
Sorry about that. My sister's decided to fly in for a visit. Oh, God, I have to get ready. Actually, I might have another job for you. Can you come by tomorrow?
I can. Interesting. It has been so... Oh, I kind of want to have like a...
The next day,
whatever
I
Twitter
promised
like,
Carmen
just
I'd
something to
return
take like
help her
photos,
get
to
the
take good
cafe ready
photos.
for her sister's arrival.
It can even be like, you know, a phone that is like good enough to take pictures, but I miss taking pictures.
I was about to set out when I received an unexpected call from my hotel's reception desk. Apparently, another guest had asked for me by name.
By name?
Curious, I took the creaking elevator up to the top floor and made my way to the room number they'd given. I knocked.
Are you here about the camera? It's about time.
She is not... Her sister is a mafia loan shark, probably, to be fair. But she cannot be straight, by the way.
The woman in front of me.
Oh no,
was
she cannot.
immaculate.
She really
Not a
cannot.
hair out of place or a crease to be seen.
My sister tells me you know how to fix things.
Oh, you are
I'm
the...
not
Oh
a
my
cooking
god.
expert, of course, but in this town,
You are the sister.
So this was Carmen's sister? The two of them couldn't have been more different. Inside her room, I saw a beautiful reflex camera, any professional photographer's dream.
the viewfinder is completely dark. I can't see anything through it at all. I assume you can figure out what's wrong.
Probably. Do, 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 no. There you are. We have like one screw here. Oh, and there's one here.
I don't suppose you've fixed anything this valuable before.
I don't be that mean.
If I use the screwdriver, I could adjust the angle of the mirror.
There you
Perfect.
are.
Now the viewfinder should be working.
And that's basically it. Like, we don't have like anything more we need to do in here. Another screw here. And two on top. Wait. Oh, but that can wait, right? I mean, we can just put that in here immediately. And
Looks like there's still a
there
screw
you
missing.
are. It's a
I
little
felt a
fun
pang
game,
of
I think.
envy as I handed the camera to Helena. It put my disposable to shame.
I picked it up on my first trip to Paris. It's
Paris.
a 1958 limited edition, the first of its kind. It cost me 3 months' salary, but it was worth it.
Why is she flexing on us like this? We never asked.
I had no idea what 3 months' salary meant to Helena, but I was pretty sure it was more than I could afford. It was strange, really, that we were even staying in the same hotel. I'd picked this place because it was cheap and cheerful, but surely she
Cheap
could
and
afford
cheerful.
somewhere better?
Cheerful is like such an interesting adjective for like an hotel. I love the country of Paris. Okay, but that's my take. Paris is an entirely different country than France.
She took some test shots, fiddling with the camera settings until she was absolutely satisfied.
This work is immaculate. At least there's one person in this town who knows what they're doing.
The French city-state of Paris, plus 2.
Carmen's actually gotten right.
I wondered why Helena had bothered coming if she thought so little of her sister.
I hear nothing from her for weeks, and then when she finally does call me, all she wants is money. If she thinks I'm lending her another penny, she'll have to convince me it's not a total waste of time.
Yeah.
That didn't sound good. If Hurricane Helena was about to hit, I hoped Carmen was ready.
Hurricane Helena is like a little bit crazy to say, but cheerful derogatory. In the dark.
The sun was setting over Bella Riva by the time I reached Carmen's
And it's called
cafe.
like Bella
From the
Riva.
outside,
You
it
cannot
looked
be
as
anything
quiet
but
as ever,
French.
but inside, I found Carmen cleaning like her life depended on it.
Maria! Oh, don't mind all of this. If Helena finds one speck of dust in here, I'll never hear the end of it.
Carmen seemed pleased to see me, but I sensed the fidgeting tension beneath each sweep of her mop. Trying to live up to the standards of someone like Helena seemed like an impossible task.
I mean,
I hope you didn't mind fixing the camera for her. She was furious.
Italian maybe.
I really
But I
need
don't
this so
think
well.
like the setting
If
looks
she
very
doesn't lend me the
Italian.
money, I don't know how long I can keep this place going.
Carmen led me to a back room, where she'd laid out the components of what looked like a neon sign.
I mean,
had
this is
made when
Southern
I first opened the
Riviera,
cafe,
you know,
but
Mediterranean
I'm
thingy.
hopeless with electronics.
So there was
Provençal,
supposed
yeah.
to be a sign outside. This might explain the lack of customers.
I'd like to put it up before Helena gets here. Can you give it a try?
Isn't this like a little bit tacky? As like a... or like what seems to be like a cafe mostly, right? Like a... Lucky for a sign, I mean. Okay. I mean, can we put oh, okay. She wants me to... This is like a bit weird. I thought it would like be something you could like screw, but no, they want me to glue this, which is very weird. Like, why would you glue like this part? Like, this is something you want to change, no? It's so annoying. I'm kind of like clicking every time on it. Okay, so it works here, right?
I don't know, it's a bit flat. Maybe if it flashes, it'll really catch people's eye.
If it flashes...
Great idea. I think I have a spare part that could do that.
Yeah? Oh my god, I hate this. It's a little bit weird, but...
It still needs something else. Maybe we can add one of these.
Just glue it and it won't fall off again. Okay. I'll do like this. And I think you're fine here.
It works.
It
I'll
works.
screw everything together again and you'll be set.
Yay! Oh my god, I hate this. And let me screw that on, and we're never talking about this anymore. This is the weirdest sign also possible, but... Recent electric devices like they on-card runes on ancient rare metals and wire contraptions, which their electricity is not real. What's the difference between, you know, technology and magic? There's none.
The sign fixed, we headed outside and mounted it carefully over the cafe door.
My circle thingy fell off again. Can you fix it? No, I'm not here. I'm leaving this town.
Oh, that's perfect, Maria. It looks just how I imagined it. When I had this sign made, it all seemed so simple. Oh, I can't believe I might have to give it all up. I hope I've done enough.
What do you mean? It all seemed so simple. You're the person, so you made it like custom, and the person did not even like install it for you. What are you doing? And recently, I've recently been enlightened and have come to believe science is magic. Or magic is science, you know, it's like... It depends on your perspective.
The smile froze on her face as she spotted something over my shoulder. I turned to see.
Oh, Elena.
Of course, my sister owns the only cafe in this entire town that isn't actually open.
For better or worse, Helena had arrived.
Sorry. Opening a can. Friendship is magic. Also.
Carmen opened her mouth to explain, but Helena swept indifferently past her. Finally pausing in the doorway, she turned back towards Carmen.
The first thing we're doing is getting rid of that hideous...
Hey, you know what? She is not wrong. She is not wrong.
And with that, she disappeared inside. I hoped Carmen's chances of saving the cafe...
AI is
would
satanism,
disappear with her.
derogatory. Friendship is tech. Friendship is tech sounds like such, you know, a crypto fascist Silicon Valley thing to say. Yay! What kind of console is that, though?
It was the day before the festival, and the whole town was busy getting ready. I had more work than I knew what to do with. When Joseph called with another job, I was craving the cool quiet of his and Izzy's seafront house. I'd barely reached their front door when I heard someone calling me.
Psst. Maria, I need your help. Quickly, it's top secret.
It's top secret. I want to play Link's Awakening on my Game Boy.
It was Izzy, peeking out from the side of the house. She beckoned for
Friendship
me
is
to
not
follow her.
transitive.
She led me through to a beautiful, unruly garden overflowing with flowers of every color. Nestled among them was a playhouse, its doorway almost completely obscured by a towering rose bush.
Pretty.
You have to squeeze past it and breathe in real small, like this.
Izzy took in a big gulp of air and crawled through the gap and into the playhouse. I hadn't planned on crawling in the dirt today, but the life of a repairwoman never did run smooth. On the table inside, there was an electronic toy. Not exactly the usual stock in my parents' antique shop.
I had an accident. I didn't do it
Oh
on
no, an
purpose or anything,
accident.
but it won't turn on anymore. Can you fix it for me?
I can. Forest adventure. Oh my god, you broke everything, girl. Why do I have like two different... Well, let me take this. Oh, okay, because you have like music coming from like two different speakers? I don't know. I should be like, I should have taken notes on like what is linked to what, but... Can I remove that as well? From below? Oh. Okay, so now I'll put it. Oh, okay. I'll put that in here. We can turn this around. I'll put you back. The board back. We can put this. I forgot what needs to be linked to what, to be fair. Doesn't really matter that much. I'll put the screen. Does it matter what you're linked to? Two and two. I put this. 1 and 1. I can put you back, and you as well. Put you here.
Do grown-ups play games as well?
They should. It's okay to play games. Yokoi,
Can you show me how to play? I tried before, but it was so hard.
it was so hard. Our vision is to outsource spaces for friendships to thrive and develop by using our new directive to facilitate a strong foundation in relationships. You have mastered the tech bro language. I'm very proud of you. There is some real gamer rage that Game Boy had been through. She said it was an accident. You know, it was an accident that like I died on this level and I throw the Game Boy on the wall. And play. Hey. Do-dit. So this game is Pokemon Snap. Okay.
Her toy fixed, I watched Izzy retreat into its screen, taking refuge in a 3-inch world of her own.
Hey, you know what? It's okay to play games.
Well, I'd better head inside. Your dad is waiting for me.
Please don't tell him about the game. He'll think I broke it on purpose.
No, it's our secret.
Why would he think that?
Because, well, I kind of dropped it.
Okay, so she was really into gamer rage.
The wall.
Izzy looked down, scuffing her shoes on the worn floor of the playhouse.
My dad said I have to go to this stupid festival tomorrow and put on a stupid dress, and I don't want to. All he cares about is working. He never wants to see me unless it's for his job. I'm not going. He can't make me.
Oh no, poor girl.
With that, Izzy dove back through the rosebush and disappeared into the wilds of the garden. She was so young. She couldn't be expected to see that her dad was struggling too.
Yeah, but also it's her dad's fault. Like, he's the one that has to take care of her. I mean, she's not wrong.
It made me think. Had I really tried hard enough to understand my parents' point of view?
I mean, like, she's young, right? Like, if she was probably like, 13, even like, maybe even older, like 15, I would understand, but like, she's literally like a young girl.
I was so focused on the adventures ahead of me. Maybe I didn't care enough about leaving them behind.
Sad. Tell your parents you love them. If you love them, you know.
Leaving Izzy hiding in the garden, I walked around to the front of the house and rang the doorbell. It was only then I noticed
Specific clothes requirements
favorite
for them, so
overalls
true.
covered in grass stains. I scrubbed desperately, but it was too late.
It was too late.
Maria, what are you doing? What happened to your clothes?
Hey, don't worry about it.
I was repairing a lawn mower.
How unusual. Well, do come in. The job I've got for you is a little more delicate.
Totally
That's a nice life, to be
embarrassed,
honest,
I
being
walked
able to
into a
just repair
courtroom
things.
room filled with papers and ledgers. So this was his office. You must be so busy getting ready for the festival. Are you looking forward to it?
Of course. It's traditional for the mayor to judge food from every cafe and restaurant in town.
Okay, so Carmen will win this competition, right?
I'll be declaring the best chef in Bella Riva by this time tomorrow. Speaking of which,
He unclipped the watch from his wrist.
Why
Very
is he
carefully
showing like
handed
his
it to me.
watch and trying to like, again, flex on us?
I'll have a tight schedule to follow, but my watch stopped working a while ago. Could you see if you can make it tick again?
What has happened to your watch? This should not happen.
Are you sure it will all fit back together?
Hey, don't worry about it. Are you repairing it, or is it my job? Love always. Oh, I like screwdrivers.
Ah, the main plate has completely cracked. I'll need to replace it.
Yay!
The cogs look good though. If I'm careful, I can reuse those.
Yeah, we'll do that later. I want to open this first. Oh. There we go. We can remove that and put that instead.
I've not gone a day without this watch since my wife gave it to me.
The mayoral mug. Okay, then I can immediately screw that on. Oops. And we'll do this. And I can put you back here for now. So let's take care of that. There you are. Eh. Cogs. Oh yeah, you don't care about this. There you are. I can... No, this is not what I wanted to do. For grabbing round things when she should not. I'm not commenting on that. My lawyers are asking me to not comment on that. Also, was there any kind of like battery in his watch? We're just sheep using the town's electrical device. I mean, at this point, is Bellariva the same? Can you still call Bellariva Bellariva?
As I handed the watch back to Joseph, my fingers traced over the engraving on the back. I hoped fixing this was one small way I could help him move forward.
The watch is ticking if I watch it.
I can't believe it's working, Maria. Thank you. My wife was a brilliant woman. Feeling this ticking on my wrist, it makes me feel like she's still here. Watches measure minutes and hours like they're infinite. I didn't know we had so little time. Even with Isabel, I barely see her. And when I do, she acts like she hates me.
This goes strong. Watches measure minutes and hours like they are infinite. I didn't know we had so little time. Oh my god. You are cooking, Joseph.
Just then, the phone rang. Even when he was at home, his work was never
I mean, you're
done.
the mayor, so...
Sorry, Maria. I have to take this. I'll see you at the festival tomorrow.
As I left, I turned and saw him pacing the floor of his office, his watch glinting in the afternoon sun. I hoped its quiet ticking would at least bring him some peace during the busy days to come.
It's so funny because I think like watches are so cool, but like it becomes like a little bit less useful. It has become a little bit less useful with like our smartphones and stuff. But I really like watches as a fashion statement. I was reading some zombie apocalypse Yuri, and the protagonist just had a scene when she stands watching a lady mechanic fix a device and goes, "God, I love women." She felt very library coded. Hey, we do like, you know, skilled women. Also, feel free to drop the name
My
of your
last job of the day brought
your
me to
Yuri,
Carmen's apartment. The door was opened by
whatever
someone
manga
I
or
didn't
whatever
expect
it
to
was.
see. Helena.
Sorry for inflicting this mess on you. Carmen's never seen a knick-knack she doesn't want to buy, apparently.
Carmen's apartment was a little chaotic, but totally charming. It was easy to imagine her living in a place like this. It definitely wasn't Helena's style.
Oh,
She seemed more upmarket
I
than
see.
flea market. I wondered why she was even here.
I mean, feel free to drop the fiction either, but... Oops.
We're having a clear-out. Or at least I am. Carmen's not helping, as usual. There's a market at the festival tomorrow. I'm selling some of these things to make her some money.
Just like this.
She says she has nothing when there's all this stuff right under her nose.
I mean, should we...
Helena stepped delicately past the items on the floor and reached down to pick up one from the pile.
Should we, like, just steal things from her place to sell them? It's a bit crazy, you know? Not very spicy, to be fair, just a tiny bit. I mean, you know, it's okay. I think you can post that on the library.
Look at this slide projector. Our parents treasured it, but Carmen treats it like a piece of junk.
A piece
Can you
of
take a
junk.
look?
I can. It's been a long time since I've seen a projector as well. I know that people love to use those like as a replacement for TV, right? As long as you have like a white screen.
Oh, typical. Carmen's even managed to get a slide stuck in here.
Beware electricity.
That light bulb is completely smashed.
Yeah, okay.
Okay, I'll need to redirect the light to the lens at the top for the projector to work.
That's something we do later, right? Oh yeah, I see, okay. Okay, because now you need, okay, you need like the mirrors here. And you need that. To be here. This is the wrong piece. But you need to shoot upwards, no? Am I putting you in the wrong direction? Oh, okay. I did not see that there was one here. There you are. Okay.
I was so excited when I moved to the city. Carmen,
He
she
does.
looks so sad.
A dead. Oh, it's a dead dove. Do not eat. It's not my favorite tag though.
Here's the clicker you'll need to attach. God knows how Carmen broke that as well.
It's not my favorite tag. It's just, you know, sometimes I'm writing things that are dead dove do not eat. But and also it has been a long time since I've written like something that way. But okay, but
Looks like something is still missing.
why do we have like those things? Do we want to? Oh, because I need to put them in the. Oh no, they want me to test the button first, right? Okay, okay.
When we were younger, Carmen was always following me around.
I love the light effect. Okay, I'll put that in the trail then. Was there a progression to like the things? Because I kind of like put that randomly into the thing, but...
I suppose she looked up to me. Her cool older sister.
Her cool older sister. Damn.
Still a few parts missing.
She used to ask me when I was coming home, but I was always too busy.
Too busy. Why does the projector look like it has a microwave transformer on it? I mean, don't worry about it. The other bolt position was clearly a red herring. Yeah, I agree. To be fair, I'd say that for now, it does not feel to be worth of the dove tag. Maybe later something will happen. Yeah, I don't know.
Still
I
a few
mean,
parts missing.
also that's my thing with the... like, the dead dove by itself, it doesn't mean anything, right? Like, I hate when people put, like, dead dove, but they don't, like, explicit what is dead dove content. Like, in the tags. Like, for me, if you use dead dove, you need to, like, explicit all, like, the content that is, you know, difficult. And then you add at the end, like, dead dove do not read, to make sure that people understand it's serious business. It is, I like the very minimalist effects.
I think I've missed a screw somehow.
We haven't missed a screw, don't worry about it. I'm a professional. Okay. Sorry, I was like a bit focused on this one.
Helena was transfixed. Staring at the two young sisters the projector had brought glaringly into focus.
Glaringly.
I never meant to let her down.
But you haven't, have you? You came all this way just to help with the cafe. Plus the money.
Well, we were trying to sell her things, but you know.
That's the problem. There is no money. I lost my job a few months ago. My savings are almost gone. I have nothing.
Will she sell her camera then?
Carmen thinks I'll throw my checkbook at her bad decisions and make them okay. But I can't. Not this time. You know, the funny thing is, I came here wanting to tell her the truth. But she's so infuriating. How can I ask her for help when all she cares about is herself?
I don't think it's true.
Helena fell silent, shrinking under the gaze of her younger self, projected onto the wall.
We drifted so far apart when I moved away. It felt like the only thing keeping us together was my bank balance.
This is sad though.
I know I have to tell her the truth. It isn't fair. But I already lost everything else. What if I lose her too?
Okay, I will say I like how like they focus on like a few characters and it's not like one object, one person every time. It's a continued storyline for them. A boiling point.
The day of the festival finally came, and after all my hard work, I was ready to put down my tools and pick up a fork. The smell as I entered the main square was incredible.
I like the writing also. It's very
Each stall was
simple
selling
but
food
quite
even
evocative.
More delicious than the last. The competition would start any minute. Most stall holders were waiting anxiously for the mayor to pay them a visit. All of them, that was, except Carmen, who was still frantically chopping vegetables and stirring pots.
Maria! Thank God you're here. Can I ask you the world's biggest favour?
Okay, so she will win and she'll get like some money and they can like she can use her cafe and like her sister will like help her or whatever. Gas canisters are scary. They are.
Elena was supposed to help me run the stall today, but she never turned up. Probably too ashamed to show her face. I can't believe she lied to me.
I can't believe.
Carmen was stirring so furiously she was in danger of tipping the pot over altogether.
The mayor will be here any minute for the judging, but I'm almost out of my special.
She wasn't really going to ask me, was she? Not on my day off.
This face is such a mood. Not on my day off.
I have a stove ready to build and everything. Can you set it up and make me a spare batch?
Also, we are cooking as well. Oh my god. What's your recipe?
Oh, her recipe is a bit smudged. Never mind, I'm sure whatever I put in will be fine.
Pint of stock, a stick of butter, half a carrot, 2 broccoli florets, handful of chopped tomatoes, wild mushroom, and plenty of whatever. Is this your special? I'm sorry to be judgmental, but okay, so it can like stand. And I just need you to be on top.
It all fits. Now to light the gas.
Oops. Give me a match. Can I light the... Help? I just want to light my match on the thingy. Is it not allowed? Do I need to do this? Okay, also like, don't put the gas in here. Okay, it was like a little bit more... I see. You don't have to click, you have to just like pass over the surface. What kind of broth is it?
I think that pot is really boiling now. Smells great if I say so myself.
If I say so myself.
Here are the ingredients that Carmen's given me. What to add first?
No, it's a stick of butter, right? This math? I just add some butter, it's nice. It's good. Okay. So half a carrot. 2 broccoli florets. What is this color though? Broccoli doesn't give like color to
looks good. I'll scoop a spoonful when I'm ready to serve.
What is this recipe though? Oh, it's plenty of onion. It looks a little bit, you know. I'm not sure about the color, but it looks like a red wine based soup, which is like a little bit, you know, surprising.
My part done, Carmen took over and added the finishing touches. It was just in time, and a moment later,
Also, you should add
Joseph
some cream
arrived
to
with
that
Izzy in
soup or
tow.
whatever, I think.
Carmen anxiously handed them both a serving.
Okay, I'm sorry, but like, just checking the recipe, this is not winning. If this is winning, like there's some corruption at play.
That was so tasty. Can I have some
She's not
more,
in a
please?
dress, by the way.
Well, you've certainly earned yourself a loyal
4
customer
distinct
in my daughter.
seasons.
We have a few more meals to taste, but so far you are one of the best. Good luck.
Good luck.
Joseph and Izzy looked so happy together. Maybe the festival was doing them some good after all. Carmen, on the other hand, seemed annoyed. But why, when it had all gone so well?
I wish Helena was here to see this. She's so convinced I'll never succeed at anything.
She wants
my
what's
cat is
best for
crazy.
you. She's just not very tactful about it.
Yes, I know. Even when I was a kid, she pushed me when no one else did. I just wish she hadn't lied to me. But then, I've asked so much of her over the years. I never stopped to think how much she actually had to give.
I never stopped to think how much she actually had to give. Interesting. Wow, harmony. We're getting there.
The festival finished. I only had one day left before I had to catch my train and leave Bella Riva behind. I couldn't go without saying goodbye to Carmen. So, that evening, I made my way to the cafe. It was unrecognizable. She'd done it.
She'd
Best
done it.
food in Bella Riva. Half the town was outside waiting to see what the fuss was about.
I still think that the sign is a little bit tacky, but
Maria! My favorite sous chef. Come on through.
It was Carmen, acting every inch the successful cafe owner she deserved to be. Even Helena was there, serving the coffees. This was the last place I expected
hey, you know
to
what?
see
I
her
like that
after
they solved that
yesterday's
like
drama.
off screen. I think it's like good storytelling.
Carmen led me through to a balcony upstairs, where she brought out an old record player.
I found out where Helena was on the day of the festival. She was selling her camera to clear the
Yeah, I mean,
cafe's
this was
debt.
obvious.
But then she didn't have much left for herself. So, I've asked her to come and stay with me for a while. We have a lot of catching up to do. I wanted to give her this, to cheer her up. We listened to it all the time when we were kids. Do you think it has one last tune in it?
Just one last tune. I have one more in me.
Okay, let's see what happens when we turn this on. The speaker isn't connected properly. I should check the wiring.
Yeah, we should. Okay.
The speaker isn't connected properly. I should check the wiring.
Okay. It's just something that you can
Here's
clip
the
on.
problem. This wiring isn't connected properly.
Eh? Who did that? Oops.
That's the speed dial connected. Now we should be able to change it.
Okay. And we want the speaker, right?
That should do it. This record should play beautifully.
This is a little bit too easy, no?
It's spinning the wrong way. How can I get it to play in the right direction? It must be to do with the motor. Let's see if one of these spares can turn things around.
Makes me think of the King of Germany thing in like Ace Attorney. Okay, but I need to open you again. So this is not the one we want.
If I turn the volume up, I should be able to hear it now.
Oh, but you were the wrong model. Oh my god, what are we doing in here?
Well, it's playing in the right direction. I should check it's turning at the correct speed.
This has the order of sabotage. I completely agree. Like, why would that be like
The
so
record
wrong?
player's crackling tune must have caught Helena's ear, as she appeared a few moments later.
Is that my old record player? I can't believe you've kept it all these years.
I like the very like old school vibe of this game, but also with like such a sunlit atmosphere. This is like it gives a vibe that we just don't think a lot about nowadays, right? Like in our economic crisis-stricken societies.
Leaning over the music, they looked just like the young sisters the slide projector had preserved all these years, inseparable once again. Carmen told me about your camera. That was a really generous thing to do.
I loved that camera, but I love my sister more. Now it's her time to be the person she wants to be.
Wow.
I'm going to stay here with her for a while. Make up for lost time.
Carmen and Helena's relationship wasn't suddenly going to be perfect, but they were both prepared to try. And to think, it had all started because of a call Carmen made about some seasoning tips. I guess in the end, maybe it wasn't so hard to just pick up the phone and dial. I hadn't spoken to my own parents in a year. I wanted to hear their voices more than anything.
Yeah.
But the silence between us was so cavernous.
Cavernous.
I didn't know how I'd ever find the words to bridge it.
Just say things. Don't think, just send it. Oh, a father's reprise.
My final morning in Bella Riva, I received one last call out to Joseph and Izzy's house. I knew I had to pack, but I figured I could squeeze in one final job before I had to leave. When I arrived, I found Joseph tidying up his wilderness of a garden. The playhouse was already cleared. Inside, I could see Izzy happily testing out her screw-driving skills on the back of her cassette.
Oh,
deck.
she's picking up our skills. This is sweet.
You've made quite the impression. Izzy, tells me she's going to be a repairwoman like Maria.
Hey, you know what? +2.
I'm sure she could be anything she wanted if she put her mind to it.
She could. She's a brilliant child. Spending the day with her at the festival, I haven't had so much fun in ages. I wanted to give her something before she starts to forget.
I really like also this like a children's book aspect to it.
Inside, the house was transformed, flooded with light and the sounds of the garden. It felt alive again. This would be my last repair in Bella Riva, but it felt like it was the house that had really been restored.
It's a music box. It used to play beautifully, but now when I wind it up, nothing happens.
It's really also like a story about like music.
I'd love for Izzy to hear it sing again. Can you help?
Okay. We can take a look. Oh, pretty. This is funny because like I thought at the beginning that it would be like a sort of like mobile game that has been ported to PC, but it's really not. I don't think you can do those movements easily on a mobile, on a phone. You need to stop like breaking things, you know, in 1 million
Maria,
ways.
could you add this family picture of us?
I can. Did you really need to use like glue on it? This feels a little bit overkill though. Okay, so let's work on that.
This mechanism is completely broken. I'll need to take it all apart before I can fix it.
Oh yeah, what happened? You destroyed everything inside. This is fine, and the rest is fine, so we'll just change that. I'll put you here, this, and then no, I need to take the big one, and then the small one, and you should be okay. There. Oops. Not what I wanted to do. You can put that back on. Okay, it works.
Perfect. The mechanism is good as new.
Okay, and we can screw that again. There you are. Glue is for sniffing, not sticking. I don't exactly like the smell of glue, to be honest. Oops, I need to put that again. Eh? Am I missing something? Oh, you want me to, okay, you want me to add, sorry. I was a little bit... Oh, can you add that like, yeah,
I
okay.
think that's everything back together again. I should play it to make sure.
She's the only repair woman in Bellaria who doesn't need 4 days to order new technical parts. I have everything in my pocket, by the way.
My wife used to sing this song to Izzy each night before bed, but I always worked too late to join them.
She's either super high-end or just living life on pro bono mode.
Dream for me, if I sit by your side and hold you so tight. Know that I will always love you, even though we both know that we must must say good night.
Good night.
I've missed so much already. I want to be the father my wife wanted me to be.
Oh no, I'm crying. I'm starting to cry. I can feel the tears coming.
I've ended up so much like my own father. Working all the time. Izzy needs me more than that. Especially now it's just the two of us. My daughter comes first. Well, until she gets bored of her stuffy old dad anyway.
I'll never ever get bored of you, Dad.
Izzy came running into the room where Joseph scooped her up and onto his shoulders. She gazed at the music box, her eyes shining. I'd never seen her look so happy.
Thank you, Maria, for everything. The things you've fixed for me. I'm so glad to have them back.
Joseph was a good father, and I could tell he was determined to be an even better one. When it came down to it, that was all any of us wanted. A second chance to make something right. My time in Bellariva was almost over, but before I left, I knew there was something of my own I needed to fix.
Yeah. And no packing again.
My time in Bellariva was almost at an end. Another chapter finished in a story whose ending I hadn't felt ready to write. The people I'd met, the items I'd restored, they'd taught me so much about what was really important. Pulling out my suitcase from beneath the bed, I remembered the day I stole it from my parents' shop. The day I left.
Oh my god.
Afterwards, I was too ashamed to call them, to apologize. It was a guilt I'd been carrying around every day since. As I packed, I knew that it was up to me to find a way to lighten the load.
And then we pack. Can we pack in a better way than we unpacked things?
The recipe for Carmen's special. I'm under strict instructions to guard it with my life.
You don't have to. It's not a special recipe, you know.
My parents would love Bellariva. Maybe I can convince them to make the trip. Helena gave me these designer shirts. Not sure I'll pull them off as well as she does. Izzy gave me this in exchange for my repair manual. She'll be a pro in no time.
Yay! Although there's also the cassette from...
The soundtrack to my travels. I'll be listening to this on the journey. Joseph's idea of light reading for the train. It does look thorough.
I mean, this looks like an interesting book, but...
My train ticket.
Oh my god, you cannot pack like this. I swear to the goddess, you cannot pack like this. Everything, oh my god.
My suitcase was full, but it was my heart that felt heavy as I made my way to the station. I was sorry to be leaving Bellariva behind, but I hoped that in my own small way I'd made a difference. Helena and Carmen's reunion was possible because they'd learned to overcome their differences. Joseph had realized he shouldn't let his grief or his work get in the way of his relationship with Izzy. They'd each learned to see things from someone else's perspective. Maybe it was time I saw things through my parents' eyes. I knew it would be easier to jump on the next train, put even more distance between us. I finally felt ready to talk to them. I just didn't know if they would feel the same. Did I even remember their number? I wasn't sure until I reached for the phone and it all came flooding back.
Maybe she has that packing foam that expands inside. Oh, I didn't even know that it existed. So you just like pack kind of like randomly and then you put this inside and it just like protects everything by expanding. This is crazy.
Mom? Dad?
Maria? Is that you?
Chemical insulation from their suitcase. It probably leaves your whole bag dirty. I guess so, but I mean, if you, yeah, I don't know. Yeah, for packaged products, not for traveling. Studio something. The production babies. Congratulations to Clara for being born. Okay. Oh, that's the bonus scenario too. The coffee machine. It has to be super expensive. Those things are really expensive, by the way. This has to cost, you know, several thousand euro. Oh, dear Maria, come in here.
Dear Maria,
Oh, okay.
Carmen here. Sorry I haven't written. The cafe's been absolutely manic since you left.
Manic.
Luckily, I have Helena here.
Several
to help.
dollars.
You wouldn't
At least
recognise
2.
her. She's like
More
a
than
new
3.
woman. She's always running round, taking orders and making drinks. I even heard her compliment a customer on their outfit. Personally, I draw the line at fluorescent green bowling shirts, but
You should highlight the
each to
big
their
coffee
own.
indoctrination in this
Certainly
game.
made the customer smile. She misses the city, though. Bellariva's many things, but it's definitely not as chic as she'd like. She said there was
Chic
a
is a
coffee shop
mindset.
near her old apartment where they made coffee with a shape drawn on top.
Oh my god. She's that kind of woman.
It got me thinking, I'm an award-winning chef. I can figure out how to put a leaf on a cappuccino. A bit of cosmopolitan coffee might be just what Helena needs.
She's so judgmental in a way. She's supportive but
Of
judgmental.
course, ordering a new coffee machine was the easy part. I wish you could have seen the mess I got into trying to put the thing together.
Dun. Okay, one last for the road.
I saw Maria use her screwdriver a million times. Taking this apart will be easy.
By a million times, she mean like 2?
These pipes look pretty simple. I should start with them. Oh, I wish Maria was here. She'd know how to put these pipes together.
There and there, I guess. Where are you flowing to?
How can there be so much steam? Ugh, I'm getting soaked.
I'm getting soaked. But it doesn't really help me, no? I don't know how all of those work. Perhaps I should open this as well. I would be pro coffee, but I ran out a week ago, so now I'm anti. Lucky we don't have Seki as the paid spokeswoman for Big Coffee. Tea enjoyer, this is your moment. For a little bit at least. I mean, the cabling looks insane in here.
Maybe I should focus on the pipes first. They look easy.
You know what? You're probably right. If I can... whatever. I guess... it's here, right? There you are.
Finally, no more steam.
No more steam. There you are. Follow. So they need to cross, right? Which is like a weird design, but it is what it is. We love crossing wire. Eh? How do I know which one goes with 1, 2? Doesn't make any sense. I mean, I can just brute force them, no? It doesn't really matter. As long as they light in the correct color. What? Nothing works? Oh my god, the perspective is killing me. Wait, I don't understand how it's working then. That cookie looks amazing. It's a little bit too crunchy for me from, you know, with the sound it made, but... Can I put the machine please on in the middle? Thank you. You know, I'll just put that for now. And we can kind of like deal with that later. Oh, okay, just because... Oh no, okay, it's fine. That's why it wasn't working. So power is 1. That's the steam.
Finally, no more steam.
Again, crossing cable moment. It is what it is. We can't have everything in life. Okay, I can put that behind. I think those type of machines are probably a little bit more complicated than that in real life.
I think that's everything. Better test the buttons, just to make sure.
Doo-doo-doom. Great.
All done. Piece of cake.
Piece of cake.
Time to make my first coffee, I think.
Oh, it's already pre-made. I thought I had to, you know, put the coffee correctly in the... Wait, shouldn't I? We haven't even locked the thingy.
Smells delicious. Now to make it look magical.
Well, I need the machine though. You haven't put the steam in the... Whatever.
A perfect coffee. All it needs is a saucer and a couple of Helena's favorite biscuits.
This is not exactly a leaf, I'm afraid. But I don't have any tools to make it... Oh my god. She didn't steam the coffee, she did not even do anything. This is a little bit cooked. I don't want to serve that to my sister. And you know what it is, what it is.
I was feeling more has-been than coffee queen by the time I'd made a drink fit for human consumption. It looked a bit, postmodern, but knowing Helena's refined tastes, I hoped she'd think it was intentional.
No, it was cooked.
Always the connoisseur. She didn't even bother to look at it at first. She was so busy wafting it under her nose. Steamed up her glasses, of course. How was she going to see my work of art through an eye full of fog? When she finally spotted it, though, she was totally impressed.
Was she? Was she?
I'll admit, she spent several minutes trying to figure out exactly what it was I'd drawn. She decided it was probably a horse. Well, what she doesn't know won't hurt her. She was impressed enough to ask for another one. I guess I'll need to get some practice in. The whole thing was such hard work, Maria. I never realized how difficult it was, all that mechanical
This is like
stuff.
kind of like the thing that like I would like to know how to do it, you know, making like proper, you know, shape with milk on top of that coffee, but at the same time, do I really want to bother learning, you know, how to do this? I don't know.
It made me realize
I don't even
how much I have
drink
to thank
coffee.
you for, so I wanted to say that now. Better latte than never. Hoping you're well. Your friend, Carmen.
This is illegal. Okay. Well, that's it. This is a nice little game, I think. You know, it isn't doing anything like special, but I think it's like heartfelt. I think like the narrative beats are kind of working. They are simple, but they are kind of working. I think like the game is also using the fact that like it's not a long game, so it leaves some things off screens, but I like this. I like that the fact that it's just you're helping people, but they're also helping themselves, and they don't need you all the time here, and you can just see them happy. A bit live, lost, love coded. Yeah, and I think it's like really good. I really like the artistic presentation. I really like the very minimalist thing. I would have expected like this background, this white background to change colors at some point, but I really like it, and I like the very pastel, very subdued like colors in general. Very cute game, very, very interesting and nice game. I think this is like the type of experience that is fun being shared with other people, right? You put it, like you stream it for other people, you play with someone and just, you know, you talk at the same time and stuff. It is nice, and I think it really has like this, again, children's book energy to it. Like you play that, like you can give that probably to, you know, your kid, your child, and I think this is like a nice little game like for a while, because obviously we go like pretty fast into those things. But I think if you're like a little bit younger, you see those like objects, and it's funny because those are not like things that like young people are used to see anymore. So they can fiddle with everything like a little bit more than we did, and this is nice. It tells them about people and stuff. So yeah, very cute game, very relaxing game. So that's basically it for today. I will try to stream one more time this week on Wednesday. I will try to... I've said that like it would be That's Done, which it will probably be like today, right? And maybe afterwards we'll do other things. Maybe we'll play another game. Maybe we'll just keep on yapping. I don't exactly know. But I want to do one last stream before we do a little break until New Year, probably. I don't know my setup exactly for the next weeks, so we'll just see how, you know, we'll just improvise everything is what I mean. But Wednesday there will be a stream at the very least. So let me just check. Do we have anybody streaming right now? Yeah, nobody is streaming like right now. But okay, so have a wonderful evening for now. Thank you very much for coming, and I will catch you in 2 days. Bye bye.